So with this new age of social media entrepreneurship, you have all these social media influencers telling people to get an LLC or start a business and work for yourself. Well, that's good and all, but do you necessarily need an LLC to start a business? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Star345 back here with another video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about LLCs. So I know you've seen all these social media influencers or social media entrepreneurs talking about get an LLC, start your business, start working for yourself. And that's good and all, and that's what I'm doing right now for myself. But one of the things that people don't tell you about is how hard that is and how to do it. So in this video, we're going to talk about what an LLC is. We're going to talk about what they mean. And we're going to talk about how to get an LLC. I'm going to show you guys exactly the process to go through. And if you decide by the end of this video that you actually need an LLC to start your business. So let's talk about it. So first off, let's talk about what an LLC is. And you're probably thinking, what the heck does LLC even mean? You've heard that term probably a million times or saw it a million times on social media. So what exactly is an LLC? So LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. So what does that mean? So a limited liability company is basically a legal structure of operations to protect your personal assets. Say for instance, you own a restaurant called Bob's Burgers. Say for instance, your employee decides to mop the floor, a customer walks through and slips and falls and breaks their back. That customer decides to sue you for emotional distress and their hospital bills. That customer cannot sue you personally or that employee personally. They have to sue Bob's Burgers LLC, and that's basically what an LLC protects you from. So now that you know what an LLC is, let's talk about some things I see on social media that are huge myths that are not true at all. So the first myth I want to talk about, you do not get taxed as an LLC when you go to file your income taxes. So how does an LLC pay taxes? An LLC is typically treated as a pass-through entity for federal income tax purposes. That means that the LLC itself doesn't pay taxes on business income. All LLC members are responsible for paying income tax on any income they earn from that LLC, as well as self-employment taxes. Yes, you read that correctly. So if you have an LLC, you usually will fall under the sole proprietor if you own that business. But say you make money from like YouTube or Twitch or any other type of side hustle. On top of paying taxes for your business, you also have to pay a self-employment tax, which is 15%, which a lot of people who talk about being an entrepreneur don't talk about. They always talk about the LLC and owning the business portion, but they never talk about the taxes that come along with that. Another thing people talk about when it comes to taxes and owning a business is, you know how when you work your regular 9-to-5 job, you know how you do that W-4 form and you send it off to HR and they send it over to the IRS so they can automatically take taxes out of your check every month? Unless you have an accountant, that doesn't work with business ownership and having an LLC. You have to manually pay your taxes at the end of the year, or if you do like me, just prepay your taxes every month. So if you're not good with money management or bookkeeping, you might want to think about that before you get an LLC. And with that being said, let's talk about myth number 2 I always hear. So every time I'm on Facebook and I'm looking at these people talking about being an entrepreneur and telling people that they should go get an LLC, I always see a post where somebody's like, go get an LLC, and then all of a sudden you can get all these crazy loan amounts and credit card amounts and all this crazy stuff. Like, stop it. So is it impossible for that to happen? Not really, but the probability of that happening is slim to none, especially if you don't have any type of income coming in and you have a new business. Companies, unless you already have some backers and you have a structure set to go, don't typically just lend out thousands of dollars in credit and business loans to new startup businesses. They make it seem like you just apply for an LLC, get the LLC like a week later, then all of a sudden you can start applying for all these big bank and credit card loans and they just gonna give it to you. That's a lie. It's not how it happens at all. Now with all that being said, here are some things that are true about your LLC that I've seen online. So being that your LLC is its own entity, your LLC can have its own bank account, phone bill, credit card, electric bill, and it can have its own personal debts and liabilities. Your personal debts or car loans that you have with your personal credit do not tie to your LLC. Now, with that being said, there are some companies that will try to do a personal credit check when you go apply for a business loan or a business credit card because they want to check your personal credit to see if you're a liability for that business loan. But other than that, your LLC is its own entity and it has its own personality and it has its own social security number. Another thing that I've seen that is true is that you can just dissolve a LLC and just get a new one. Yeah, that's actually true. So when you have a debt with an LLC, just like when a person dies in debt, that debt dies with you just like it dies with your LLC. So say for instance, you start up Bob's Burgers, you decide that you don't want to handle the debt anymore. You can completely dissolve that company and start a brand new company that's not tied to Bob's Burgers, and it's like you just started over with a brand new entity. And speaking of your LLC being its own entity and having its own social, let me show you guys how to actually get an LLC. So this might not apply to everybody because I stay in Georgia, so it might be a little different where you stay in your state. But for anyone who lives in Georgia, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to get a LLC and become an official business. So first thing you want to do is come over to the Georgia Corporations Division website. I'll leave a link down to the website down below. And what you want to do is come over here to create or register a business after you created yourself an account. So as you can see, once you create an account, you can pretty much manage and do everything you need to do with your business in this one portal. So you want to go over here to create and register a business, and you want to go to I am creating a new domestic business, and you want to go to domestic limited liability company, which basically means local US limited liability company. So once you do that, you want to go over here to your business name. You always want to make sure you have 3 different choices, because if somebody has that same LLC name, you obviously can't get that LLC name. So always make sure you have a backup just in case you don't get your name that you want. Also, if they can just flat out not approve your name too. So if it's something that they don't want to approve, they won't approve it. So make sure you keep that in mind too when naming your companies. So once you do that, you will come down here, do your business purpose, whatever industry you're working in. If it be clothing or whatever, you pick your industry that you're working in, and then you would go down here and do your principal address office. So that would be your actual company address. Now you can't, say you're working for yourself like I am, you can put your home address as your business address, but just be forewarned, when you make your LLC, all of that company business and private information is public. So if you make your business address your home address, anyone and everyone can see that. So just keep that in mind when you're creating an LLC, or if you're deciding if you want an LLC, if you're willing to part with that privacy to the public. So after you do your address, right, you would just hit continue, and then you would go through your authorization, pretty much confirming your information. You would do a review, which is like a double down review of your information, confirming it, and then you would do a payment. So right now in the state of Georgia, it costs $100 for the standard transaction to get your LLC created. So with that $100, it's usually about 5 to 7 days before you can actually get the piece of paperwork saying that, hey, we approved your LLC. You can expedite it, but I think it's like an extra $100 to $175 if you do want to do it in 24 hours or 2 to 3 business days. So once you finally have all that information created and you finally click done, you can go over to your dashboard and you can see your receipt for when you paid for your LLC, and then you can see the pending filings. But once it's finally approved, it will go over to your correspondence, and then you can see right here, I got my LLC, all my information, and you can view your documents. So let me open this up. And this is exactly what it will look like in the state of Georgia once you get your LLC approved. You can see my LLC got approved. I have all my information right here. I blocked out some of this information, so because it's private. But as you can see, I got my LLC, and you can see I just got mine in December, because that's when I finally decided that I was making enough money to actually justify getting an LLC. So Once you have your LLC, right, you are not done because you have to get a DUNS number. The DUNS number is basically like the social security number associated with your LLC. So that's how you get your like business loans, your business credit card, your business bank account. You can't do none of that unless you have a DUNS number associated with your LLC. So how do you do that? So the easiest way to get a DUNS number is to go to Duns & Bradstreet's website and apply for one. So dnb.com, I'll leave a link down to it in the description. So basically what you would do is go to the website, go over here, click on get a DUNS number, right? And then it will ask you what's the reason. I have a US based business. You would type in your LLC name, the address for your LLC, and what they'll do is they'll search it. So let's see if they can find my business name. And as you can see right here, they have my LLC, my information. And then you can just click on get DUNS number. Once you set up your account with Duns & Bradstreet, you'll be able to log in. It should take about 7 days for you to get your DUNS number. I think I got mine in like 5 or 6. But once you get your DUNS number, you can come over here to Duns & Bradstreet website, click on your company details, and you should be able to see your information just like I have my information here. From there, you can start applying for your business checking account, your business credit cards, business loans, whatever you want to do, because now you have a social associated with your business. Now that I told you what an LLC is, explained how they work, and even showed you guys how to get an LLC, do you think it's worth it to get an LLC at this point in your career? Or would you just rather wait until your business grows a little bit more and then you'll decide to get an LLC? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe because I'm giving you guys all the information about crypto tech, money making, and all of the above that I wish somebody had told me growing up. Make sure to come back here for my next video. See you guys in the next video, and peace.